In this video, I think I need some help. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Unless you've been living under a rock for the past few days, you've probably heard of the BMW iX, and you've probably decided that you really hate it because of how ugly it is. And this is what it looks like. And it really has been generating a lot of talk, but I can't see many people saying anything good about it really. Even the BMW Twitter account is going into overdrive trying to defend the design decisions, and they're talking about how it's difficult to be revolutionary and please everybody at the same time and all this kind of stuff. And it's actually quite surprising for a brand account, some of the replies they're coming out with. And every motoring journalist that I can think of is going on about how they hate it and it's terrible and it looks awful. And I mean, I guess the grille that they've grafted onto it from the 4 Series really isn't very popular, is it? But I actually don't think it's all that bad. Now, before you stop watching this video because you disagree, at least click the like button before you go. There's elements to it I quite like actually. Yeah, the grill isn't nice, and I don't ever quite understand what they're doing with that, but it's not actually that bad, and there are definitely bits of it that are appealing, and I think some of the hate being thrown at it is a little bit strong. But let's take a closer look at it, and you can tell me in the comments what you think. So here it is then. I mean, the side profile, it definitely looks better from the side than it does from the front. I think that's pretty nice, really. The blue accents are a little bit over the top. They could probably have lost the ones on the front bumper and just kept the ones down the side. But, I really don't mind the side profile of it at all. It really is just that grille. It's got a face only its mother could love, but the rest of it, I think, it's actually got reasonably well proportioned in terms of the side profile. And the rear isn't too bad either. It's got a bit of sort of a blend of various current BMW styling going on. And if you don't like an SUV body style, then you're probably never going to like this. But I think once you look past the grille, it's not actually that bad. And I'm embarrassed to say it with the way that everybody seems to be treating these things, but I actually quite like it. I'm sure I'll never be able to afford one, but I don't know. I don't think it's quite as deserving of the hatred it's getting. So I think the interior of this thing's where it really comes into its own. They've taken the best bits of the i3 from a design point of view, and I think they've extended on that. I really like the big centre display with both the speedo and the entertainment on one big screen. I think a lot of people are going to complain about that and say, all you're doing is putting big slabs of screens in cars and all that kind of stuff. But when you compare it to the i3, and they've really improved on that, because it had 2 screens that looked like they'd just been kind of grafted in place, and neither of them particularly look like they belong there, but I think they've definitely improved on that here. I quite like that. But I can definitely see the design influence in the interior. You've got the wood surface on the centre console. Some of the higher spec i3 models make quite good big use of wood. I'm not sure what the crystal's all about on the seat controls and stuff. It's a bit weird and a bit over the top. But I do quite like the use of these sort of light fabrics, and you can definitely tell on the inside. I definitely tell it's a related car to the i3. Quite a lot of i3 owners were up in arms about this being the next electric BMW, given the i3 was so groundbreaking at the time. But I think certainly the interior, they've still nailed that kind of feeling that you get in the i3, that this isn't just a normal BMW. It's a bit different. I think they've done a good job of encapsulating that in the interior in the iX. And whilst I'm sure there will be some people calling it out and saying how much they don't like it, I think they've made a much better job of the inside than the outside. I think that's pretty good. I definitely think it's one of those cars that looks a bit better when it's on the move as well. I think you almost forget how offensive that grille is. I think if it was to drive past you in the street, you wouldn't feel quite as offended by it than when you're looking at sort of the photos of it sitting still. And it looks a bit better in other colours too. I think that it's a strange choice, this colour they've picked. for most of the press photos, because as you can see, in a darker color or in a darker color, it sort of integrates a bit better, and you don't have the sort of features blend in a bit better, and I don't think you're quite as offended by that grille when you see it in a darker colour. So maybe they'll only sell them in a sort of this dark red, or some blacks and greys and stuff might make it a little bit less offensive as well. I don't mind that at all in that colour. I think that's pretty nice. So there we are. What do you think? Honestly, I would have one, I think, if I could afford one. I really don't think it's as bad as people are making out, and I think the interior definitely makes up for it. But let me know in the comments what you think. Even if you do, if it's just to tell me how awful you think it is, crack on. And please, like, share and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.